Okay.
Hi.
Rise ఉంది కదా.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. We'll start with Bitcoin as usual, and then look for, go through all other coins. If you have any question, feel free to ask. This session is being recorded, but you can interrupt me if you have a question for anything that I say. So you don't have to the wait for me to complete everything. So feel free to ask me in between, because sometimes it makes sense to take question in between, right? You might also forget, so don't worry about it. Just ask me. So we have different versions of BTC analysis point of view. Let's look at, for Bitcoin we look at different time frame, not just weekly but different time frame. So let's do that. Hold on. Okay, starting with 1 day's time frame. Now, just a quick recap, right? This is the double top situation at this moment, right? This is the 64k, 68, 65k, and this is almost 68, 69k. So at lower 1 day, it's or higher time frame, it's double top situation. Okay, but it's not a crash kind of a situation at this moment. Okay, but it's going down. Direction is down. Now there are three stages. So this is first rounding top. Okay, and then a leg down, consolidation, you see, and a leg down, then a similar consolidation. Now, even though this particular consolidation is very much similar, if you look at zigzag, down, up, down, up, down, up, you see, this is expanding pattern. Okay, this is called expanding pattern. Why expanding? Because it is expanding. It's like a beam, light beam, like if you have a torch, right? When you turn on the torch, you see this kind of a beam. So that's called expanding pattern. The biggest expanding pattern you can see in 10 years, 30 years treasury. That's the biggest, and a textbook expanding pattern. uh, so you can have a look at it. Maybe if you remind me, I'll show you after this. So that's a classic expanding. So this is low time frame comparatively, but that is also continuous pattern, right? That means if it is going down, it will continue going down. Very similar to channel, but little it only very tricky, because channel is very like easy, as it has two parallel lines, where expanding patterns are tricky, because each time the wave continue getting bigger, the peak and trough of valley uh, ex- expands. Excuse me. So that's why it's a little tricky. Anyway, so that's about the pattern. But point is, this is consolidation and a breakdown. Now there was bounce, but not high enough, as we know. And then this is another consolidation. So this whole entire thing is consolidation. As part of this consolidation, you can see this is the highest height at this moment, and then a lower high, right? So, and this is lower high, then this is the low, this is a lower low, this is another lower low. So point is, it's making lower high and lower low. In short, it is going down, right? So when you look at 1 day, you might see one green day, and but if you ask what is happening, answer is going down. Okay, so when it goes down sometime, so you see this kind of a big drop, let me hide drawings for clarity. When you see a big drop, usually the big drop followed by consolidation, and there is chance. It's not that this could be the end of the correction as well, but we cannot say that it has ended unless it reaches certain height. And there are two key levels which I highlighted: 52k and 58k. 52k, if 52k is achieved, that means we are not talking about new low, right? It doesn't mean the 52k gives us the new high, new all-time high. But if it achieves 52k, that means we are not talking about new low. Okay, that means I will not say this is going down. Okay, that's where I will stop saying that. However, I won't say that it is likely to make new all-time high unless it says 58k. So that's my expectation from a technical calculation, I mean technical analysis point of view. So 52k is the first level that has to be achieved. Anything less than 52k is not good enough, no matter what you think. Okay, that's from a TA point of view. No matter what I desire personally as a trader, it doesn't matter. And anything that you see could go down, no matter what. So it is very much important that these technical levels are achieved. Otherwise, so any bounce is a dead cat bounce. If you look at in terms of percentage, Bitcoin has corrected around 30% so far. Right now, if you look at 32% already from the high, 32% is already corrected. Okay, people don't understand because the correction is slow. But if 30% of the market cap is gone, okay, from its peak, and the point is, it already had 55% correction here, right? If you look at this correction from the top, so almost from the same level, 32% correction. If you consider this was around 40%. So that doesn't make sense. This is too deep to me, and mainly there are a couple of reasons. Inflation is and fundamentals are very different here. It's not about crypto, it's about two things: COVID, productivity. I think this is where the new variant was found around 9th of November or 10th of November in South Africa or surrounding country. And at that time, that news was not public until later, I think, not on 9th or 10th, but chart was showing. Even I didn't know what was the driver, but I found very unusual that why it retraced, not just retraced, but little aggressively. It was not just, especially this particular drop was very aggressive, 16th. So even this rejection was bad. And I was thinking at this moment in time that what exactly is happening, because this doesn't make sense. I thought, especially this one was not good because it broke my S1. A reaction near R17 makes sense, but breaking below this support was not something I was expecting. And then when it started dragging like this and touched S2, that's where it gave further confirmation. And of course, then we saw this one breaking all these supports. And if you look at this moment, the height is not good enough. So there were many signs and many updates indicating that something is not right. And if you ask me, the fundamental reason is the money is going out slowly. And we will see the same in equity market. Usually risky asset is beaten up first, hard, because people try to pull out first, and then probably they go for the safer asset. So those who are in crypto, for them alts, let's say, are risky asset, and then Bitcoin, BTC is relatively better one, or Ethereum is a relatively better one compared to. So if you are in crypto, you think from that point of view. But if you are, yeah, if crypto is one of your investment classes, right? then then the crypto is a risky asset. You know what I'm saying? So it's a relative to how you're, I mean, relatively speaking, equity is safer than crypto, and within crypto, small cap alts are vulnerable. So it's like that. So money is pulled out usually from risky asset, right? And that's why alts are beaten up hard. Usually, that's the case. And safer coin comparatively, where there is demand, especially the platform coins. If you note it, the utility coins are beaten up hard. Okay, the platform coins are not. That's also one way to look at it. Why? Because the platform coin is for longer term, not necessarily forever. Of course, nothing forever, but it's for longer term. Like for an example, platform coins are like your operating system, let's say Windows operating system or Linux operating system or iOS operating system or Android operating system on mobile phone and all. Those are softwares. But when you talk about apps running on those operating system, those are like utility coins. So app could be good, amazingly good, not necessarily. But the point is, they can have they can have shorter life, comparatively speaking, compared to the operating system. Similarly, so the platform has, you know, a longer life comparatively compared to utility tokens. But then there would be competition among platforms as well. Like right now, Solana, as you see, is booming, and some Luna is coming up, and some other AVAX and FT. I mean, depends on what product they offer. If the NFT right now is driving some of the platform crazy, the day NFT craze will fade away, those platforms will also won't have the same demand unless they have something else. So right now, some of the platforms are booming um, because of NFT. In my understanding, there has to be something. So it's nothing right or wrong as long as community think that this is something for future and they exchange, then that particular trend goes on, right? It depends on how long it goes on. So nothing is right or wrong. Only thing is one has to understand that, validate that the trend is up or down. Whether you invest in NFT or some other product or coin, what you have to see is the trend. So there are two things. One is short-term view, long-term view, and as far as platforms are concerned, long-term in my view 3 to 5 years. So if one has appetite to digest 80-90%, 95% drop for, then platform coins usually are safer. Utility coins are vulnerable. I mentioned this yesterday. I posted top 20 coins. A reason why I posted is to show that if you look at that 20 coins, only 4 coins in currently are in top 20. Out of them, other are have lost their levels, and some of them actually not even being talked. Right? Some of them are have lost their position. But so what indicates that it's not that old. I mean, like in couple of years, 3 years maybe, in 3 years time, 3 to 4 years, if coin could disappear, right? So that's the risk. So if right now we are in uptrend, the uptrend is not broken. Okay, it's not broken right now. It's under correction, and we'll talk about that as well. But right now it's under correction and going in direction is down. So that's not a problem. But what if this is a bear trend, and the bear trend starts? You have to have different strategies. If you are someone who doesn't care about your investment for 3 4 years, probably that's not a problem as long as the coin remain in existence. If the coin vanishes, the money goes, right? And it happened. Many coins are not no longer there. Some of the coins from previous bull market or bull run, they have not even reached to the all-time high. Okay, so the 2017 levels, many coins are not even reached to that level. Some coin just touched, for example, Litecoin, it touched, but so many coins not even touched that level, right? NEM coin was very famous, one of the top 20 coin. It didn't even touch all-time high. So this time, so that's another fact, that any coin that is right now booming, for example, not necessarily they will come back to the same level next time when the so hypothetically, let's say this is correction, the bad trend starts hypothetically. Now let's say this goes on for a year or 2 years, who knows, but let's say if it goes for a year or two, not necessarily all the coin will reach to its current level or recent high level. Not necessarily. There could be some other innovative product comes in and they may run. So it is very well possible, because there are 5,000 plus 7,000 coins, right? So many coins. And as you see, who knew that Solana will go up this much? Did anyone know in the previous bull run that Luna would be a coin or Solana would be a coin? Who so did we know DeFi kind of a coins in existence? Did we know that NFT will be will be booming? In year 2017, we did not have any idea. What I'm trying to say here is, sometimes the trends are short term, sometimes the coins bull run is short term and probably only one time. And that has to be understood. So when you select coins, you have to see what coins are in the game for long term. You have to see who is driving them, how much dedicated they are, how much open they are. Is there any marketing gimmicks going on? You know, that is kind of obscuring, or that are like misguiding the investor. You have to find out all those things. And it's sometimes it's very simple, that you can see which one is oldest and still on top and all. So this is like very easy. This is easy actually. So when you think, you have to think that if this is bear trend, let's say, and if this goes on for 1 year, 2 year, what all coins have a higher probability of surviving, right? And then only it makes sense to hold it, if the plan is to hold it. Okay, this is my opinion, not advice, but because I have seen it since like 2015, that those who are new would not know probably, but if you look at the past, the historical data are there in the coin market cap. You can go and see what all top 20 coins, top 50 coins in past, and how things change, right? So I gave some examples to touch base this topic, so you know that what you see is booming, it may be there for a few months or a year or two, not necessarily. And I don't believe in holding without knowing what is happening. So that's the only thing. It's not, nothing is called right or wrong. I don't think that way. Only thing is, if you're making money, then it's right. If you're losing money, that means something is wrong. So this is very simple, right? Now, sometime making money, it is possible that 6 months you may not make money, right? And because there is a market environment. But somebody, if keeping some utility coin, then the probability of losing that is higher, because utility coin might not recover. That's the message I want to give, right? So if you're looking for if you don't believe that this is correction, and that this correction could go deeper, and if you are a person or someone who believes that I'm okay to hold even this is a bear market, just keep one thing in mind, that you always make sure that the coin that you're holding has relevance. It should have proper funding, it should have proper people, it should make progress. And sometime you would have all this, but competition is so much that there's nothing much, and they get into stagnation. That means it's not that. For example, Neo, I'm not trying to single out, but there are a couple of other coins as well. But let's say Neo, it was very booming and very famous in previous bull run, and it is still around it, and it's not that it's crashing below. But the point is, it doesn't have the same glory, right? So NEM coin I mentioned, Neo I mentioned, there are a few more coins like that. They used to be in limelight, but they're not. And still they have funding, still people are around, still they're working on it. But we have new stars like Luna, AVAX, um, right? Um, and Salona and whatnot. So there are new players, and it is possible after a couple of years, even these coins or some of these may not exist, and some other coin might come, and so on. So that's something you have to keep in mind. That's my message. Okay. Because I understand that not everybody believe that they should reduce. Not everybody believe that this is really something could go down. Of course, it's we cannot say for sure at this moment, but they don't even. Some users might be thinking this is nothing. So for them, this is the message that whatever you're doing, just make sure that your coin has relevance in future. Okay. So now I know I digressed a bit, but that's all right. We'll continue from here on. But this is important. Why it's important? Because I feel that uh, I don't believe that everybody should accept what I'm saying in terms of correction and all. But at least I would feel good that if I convey a message that what might happen next, that at least I would not feel guilty. And it's their choice ultimately. Anyways, so if you look at different views, so one day we saw, okay, let's look at this view and look at the weekly. I'll enable this one. Maybe I'll take a different drawing. Yeah, this one. Now I'm tracking this. Sometimes it's very simple what is happening. You don't have to be very smart, um, and you don't have to know a lot of TA. Sometimes some certain things are very simple to understand. Okay, if you look at, this is the low, you connect this, and then you get this line, right, this angle, and the first one was able to bounce, this one is not able to bounce. Yeah, on this week, yeah, it is able to bounce, but if you look at closely, right, this was a borderline case, right? Next week comes, it didn't go down, so that's good news. However, it was not able to get back in. You see, it was not able to get back in, so it bounced off, right? If you look at this pointer, bounced off, but could not go up. Correct. Now comes this week, it made new low, right? Almost. And right now there's some bounce for sure, but definitely not. We would like this particular price to be near 52k in this region. Right? Why I said 52k is important, because it will, in that case, it will be close to the blue line here, right? And above the previous week's close. So that's why 52k matters. Last the the last week's high was 51,957, right? Very close to 52k. So I would like price to be above 52k, right? Above previous, and which is not happening. Today's Saturday, so this, if some major pump, in case of major pump, which might happen, and sometime it could pump in matter of hours, then it is possible. So here timeline is not so important. If a week It could happen today, tomorrow. If no matter, doesn't matter. The we if the the bull would like to have 52k, because anything less than 52k is not good enough, and that's my reasoning, because then it will be higher than the previous week, and that gives you comfort. And ultimately 58k, because then it will be about this candle almost about the opening, and more importantly it will about this trend line, blue trend line. And so this I mean there are, this is trend line point of view, okay, but there are other technical measurement that I do. Even based on that, these levels are important. So at least you, this is more intuitive because this is more visual, so you understand this, right? So that's why 52k and 50k are super important. And you won't believe that nothing else matter, because any coin that is moving up today by 10%, 15%, you can take advantage. You can, and you can take advantage as long as they are keeping up, right? But the moment you see BTC going down, you have to be on alert. So that's the mode we are in. So right now, because BTC up by around 1% to 2%, you see some of the alts are showing bounce. But the moment BTC loses, they also go down. We have seen number of times, so I don't think I have to spend time explaining that. You know it, right? So I just want to reiterate quickly that you can enjoy, right? As I gave an example, during the winter also there can be some warm day, but don't assume that the weather has changed. Weather doesn't change by one day, right? There can be a storm. It doesn't mean that it's a doomsday. The storm could come for a day or two, right? It doesn't mean that there is doomsday, right? You survive. When there is storm, what you do, you be home. If it is severe, you don't do anything. You just go be in home. If there is a major storm, right, hurricane or something, then you might have to migrate, right? Maybe for temporary. Not everybody has experience, but somebody who is in uh, area where the storm, that kind of storm occurs, they know that sometimes they have to move. That movement is very similar to reducing your position. It doesn't mean you abandoned your place, but in a worst case scenario, you may have to move forever, right? So I mean for a long time. So that is exiting or something. So point is, depends on the situation, you take action, right? But but if there is a warning sign, or then doing nothing doesn't make sense, right? Unless you know what you're doing. If you have special arrangement, special bunker, or special arrangement, redundancy plan, then it's a different story, right? So how much you do, it depends on your risk, because somebody is bold enough. I would be comfortable going into water in the sea at up to certain depth. If somebody is expert, or somebody who knows when to get out, may go deeper. So if I go, so everybody has their level, right? If my friend is going in deep in the water, it doesn't mean I must go, right? Everybody knows what is my limit, what is my skill level as far as swimming is concerned, or mentality is concerned. It's the same thing here in trading. If you think that you are getting under pressure, well, you reduce your pressure by reducing your exposure and so on. But understand what is happening. No matter how good swimmer you are, right? If there is bad storm, you may not do anything, you may not be able to do anything. So depends. So not necessarily, if there is a rainstorm, you well, not necessarily you uh, you know leave your place, but you be at home sometimes. So it's like not to do any kind of a trading kind of. But if there is a major tsunami kind of a warning, you might leave your home and go to some other place, correct? So it's like that. And sometime, so this is basic risk management strategy, right? I mean, we do this in case of natural calamities. So I don't think it's different. Only thing is how much you believe is important, Anyway, so if 30% drop from BTC and whatever 40% correction, 40 50% correction um, is not too much, then they'll continue holding it, right? So it's very personal, right? So coming back to this one, you see it's going down at this moment, right? And it must be about this. If you understand this, this is not very difficult to understand at all, right? We can have another look at some other flavor, right? But they are not going to be very different, this different angle. So we'll track this as well. So I mentioned that this is a rectangle pattern, entry, touch, then this lower bound, this is upper bound, this is touch. And if you look at if I hide, or maybe I'll just move this aside for a moment. Oops. So it touched all the way here, right? And then a bounce and could not break above this line 52600. This is orange line on Binance chart, the same line. And now it is going down. Okay, it is going down, and uh, it could touch this. And if this red line is broken, which is around 40k range, then there's nothing else but all the way. So it could stop. There are always stops, 36k and all. It's not necessarily, but point is there's nothing major, and this is the only major. And in my opinion, this already had huge consolidation here. If you look at this congestion, this is a support, right, for the next one. So this is a huge resistance here, right? And this was a major support for it to push price up. Here it topped out. You see this is a rounding top. This is called rounding top. It's like a dome structure it creates, and then you extend. There is a rounding top at this level. You have to extend. So if you consider this peak and this peak, this is rounding top and then correct. Then you extend this and this, then there's a bigger rounding top. This is how you should see, if you can visualize it, right? Maybe I'll draw a little bit to explain the same. Is it this kind of a rounding top? So this is, so it's bending right now, right? It's bending. So this is upper cap, but anyway. So point is, here when it dropped, this cluster, this congestion, this resistance zone helped the whole entire structure, right? Was very much similar to this. Only thing is this was longer. So when it corrected badly, this particular level helped again, right? This is a lifeline. This was a lifeline here as well, and this level is a lifeline here as well. So in short, if this comes down again and comes down to this, there is very low probability that this will be able to hold it. I want to make it very simple and clear, right? Technically speaking, this is unlikely to hold. We'll see when it comes. But if this comes down to this level, this is unlikely to hold, and then you prepare for 19k. Okay, there is no other level but 19k, 20k, that kind of range, maybe 21k, 19 to 21k. But I'm just saying right now 19k. But point is that's pretty deep, and that is pretty deep for, and that is nothing but this is potentially a bear market in that case, right? It's a, not potentially, that would be a bear market. So breaking below this is a bear market, as simple as that. But to me, uh, it's always late for someone to then do something, because once it touches here, then the loss would be huge. When it touches here, then you're too late, you're gone in terms, because then the alts would have corrected by 70-80% already, right? So that's my point. Now somebody understands when over here, somebody understands this over here, somebody understands over here, somebody understands over here, and somebody understands here, and so on, right? It depends. When I say understand, means realize that it is really going down, realize that something has to be done. So whenever, whatever level you want to decide, you decide. It's up to you, right? And keep in mind that for 52 will change the game, and 58, 52 will change the direction, and 52k and 58k will provide a required boost for new all-time high. Very I'm trying to make it very simple. This is it is very simple, but actually it is very difficult if you don't it is difficult only when you have conflict. Means your mind says no, 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 I it cannot be possible, but still price is going down, or over time, and your mind still says no, 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 it's not really going down. So the denial is the real challenge, but understanding what is happening is not a challenge. It's very simple. Trading is very simple. So if you go by level, if you plan by level, say 52k, I will not think about short, I will not think about selling, right? And 58k, I'm going to put more money into long. Not financial advice, but logically, if I would do that, makes sense. So when to reduce, when to add, if level driven planning would help. That's my opinion. And each support is point of exit, potentially, depends how much. Okay, so that's a strategy. And as I said, there is no one level where you can say, okay, this is the level. So many people ask, what is the right level to enter? There's no right level. There's a probability you can think about. You have to think that what level has more risk. So this is another topic where new trader do not get this point. Okay. um, so for example, what is the good time, what is the good time to do something challenging, right? So you can say morning time is good. Why? Because it's a fresh time. It's easy because it's repetitive, man. In crypto, or sorry, in trading, it's nothing is repetitive. Means every day is different. But if you look at this example, when I say, so usually you would say the morning is best because you would be fresh. Anything challenging you would try to do in morning, not in the evening, because your energy level goes down in the evening. Why you, this is easy to say, what, right? Because you know it, you experience it every day. That's why you know it. So there is no two answer. Morning is always better than late evening, energy wise, right? I mean, somebody can be as energetic as more, but usually that's the case, right? I mean, the energy level goes down. That's why we take rest in the evening, and night. Simple biological life cycle. Now in trading, there is, if you believe in technicals, the technical levels determine which level are better. And the 52k level, 58k level, these are probabilistically better level, right? There is no certainty, but probabilistically the better level. So when someone says what is a good entry, I would say just above the resistance. That's a better level. And the best level is new all-time high. People think that, oh, you're crazy because that's the most expensive, but they don't understand that above the all-time high is the price discovery. That means there is no boundary, there is no resistance. I mean, there's always resistance down the line, but point is there's no immediate resistance. It's like a free, it's like going into outer space. And of course there can be some other obstacle, but the point is, unless you see in major resistance, it's free land, free space to move around. So it's like that. So the probability of going down is low. As it goes up, it is expensive, but the probability goes down from a risk point of view, right? So this point is not understood well to many new traders, right? So that's why if coin goes up and goes near the all-time high, that means it's more attractive, and people do try to do something opposite. They try to put more money when it is going down. Now I think the only thing they think is that it will eventually go up, and then they're not wrong all the times. But but what they don't understand is how much time that may take. The coin which goes up has a lesser time to achieve next level compared to coin which is going down. So they look for a cheaper price, but they don't look for time dimension. So there are two main important things. For example, you invest something, maybe you buy something cheaper, but your so take an example. You have a choice to buy home. One place where the things are houses are cheaper, another place is little expensive, of course expensive, but you know that there's a lot of migration happening, a lot of development is happening, and but that's expensive. But another place which is like cheaper. Now, would you just go buy you would you buy that house just because it's cheaper, or would you also look that where the price is rising, right? Because the one that is cheaper is not rising fast enough, you may not go for that. Because time is also important, that how fast your money grows is also important, not just that it's cheap, right? So I think we do that, but probably we don't do that often in trading, uh, crypto, especially newbies, and also I would I would say because Twitter and other there's are not much information on this. So that's why any coin which is moving fast on the upside, they are better, even they are expensive comparatively speaking, because they can cover ground. Like take an example of Luna, right? This the crazy coin, one of the top coins. So any coin that is right now deeper, which would be cheaper, but would you buy that or which one? So that's just a quick example. So point is, any coin that is near, coming back to my technical point, when someone asks what is the best time, it's not about time, it's about the level. So that's the point. um, Time is, as I said, morning time is good for daily life, right, for challenge. But in trading, it's not about time, it's about the level. If you This is my way of thinking, of course. So I would look for a price where it stands in the life cycle, technical point of view. It's not about time. Anyway, so that's another important aspect that um, many times I believe that people think otherwise. Okay, so I think you got the idea about Bitcoin at this moment. So we'll now move on and go through all the alts. But before we do, if you have any question on Bitcoin, ask me, and then we can continue. So go ahead. Put this back. Okay. So right now there's no question. So let's continue. We'll go by alphabetical order and weekly time frame, right? Mm, so now the funny part is, um, the funny part is, in this analysis you will only see um, comparative analysis. I mean, it's more like comparative analysis where um, if you have to keep an eye, okay. So you would be wondering what I'm analyzing if all the coins are inactive, which is true. So I'm not in a favor of long at this moment, right? If you want information about the target, that this session is recorded, right? These levels are there. You open my video and see all these targets or resistance, and you get that information, right? Required level is the level. Unless this required level are added to all the coins, and this is like this is like 58K for Bitcoin. Similarly, these levels are there for different coins. Now this level is for new all-time high. So quick clarification: the required level, it doesn't mean that you don't do anything. If you want to do something, then it can be treated as a short-term measure or short-term plan. Right? The required level simply means that uh, unless price breaks above this required level, you have to assume that it could go down from any level. Okay, probabilistically, because this range is not a range. I'm just taking a hour as an example to explain this. You can, so this is bouncing. If you think that it will go up, why not? And then currently it's bouncing, but then you consider previous support as resistance. In this case, there could be one or two or three different coin would have different levels, but the previous support, you use that as resistance, and ultimately the green level is the green signal, right, for new all-time high. So this is to be this is to be understood. So anything below required level, assume it could go down if Bitcoin go down. So um, if once this is clear, then I am not worried. Then then it's up to you, right? So you have to time it. So if you are loading up heavily, right, and if Bitcoin goes down, then you need to know that you need to do something, because this coin, not Aave, but all these alts are not doing anything different than BTC when the BTC goes down by 3% or so, right? So when the BTC doesn't go down or flat, they are going up. So you can consider that that's a short-term opportunity, okay? And but as soon as BTC starts going down, you have to be on alert. That's it. So this is very important point to be noted, and then I'll continue with other. Otherwise, these levels are known. There's nothing much to say other than showing the weakness or strength. So Aave is showing strength this week. ADA is not showing any strength. It's still on S2, as you could see, right? So here is the required level, and it has two levels in between, right? Aave has three levels, so that's the only difference. These are like, first it could react from here, react here, and then here, and then it will get, then we'll talk about R17 in this case of ADA and so on. So at this moment, this is survival mode. This is more like a, this is on cliff. A little bit of push is going to jump off the cliff, right? And then the fall could be deeper. So this is on cliff. Now, when you look at 2%, 3%, this is because you are looking at 1 day time frame. That's why I insisted everyone that you should not look for anything below 1 week if you want peace of mind, right? Anything that is, because I still see, and it's not my business to say what they should do or what everybody should do, but if you want peace of mind, don't even touch anything lower than 1 week time frame. It's not going to give you any information. It's up to you. So this is like on the edge, you can say a little bit of push, it will make new low, and if it goes up, then these are the levels. Algo made new low, right? It's on S1 because a little bounce, but it made new low this week. Alice is still up below this line that you can see. I have it's on S2, not bad, but it's, if you look at without drawing, this is the like low. This is like a kind of a boundary, huge support. So it's vulnerable. You'd like uh, Alice to be somewhere here. That's why this required level is here. So keep required level in mind. Anything less than this is not good enough. Atom, see, new low. It made new low. So for last so many weeks I've been updating. Atom had a good bounce as well, is in between. But if you cannot get excited about it, you cannot assume, if you believe in technicals, of course. So this could happen. These are some examples. There will be another example, Doge, for example. We'll have many examples. You will see many examples. If you're going to get excited and assume that everything is rosy by just one quick move, then that could be a big mistake. Okay. And sometimes you had experienced that mistake. Sometimes some people know and learn and prevent, and some people go for it and then learn, and some people do not learn at all and they keep continue, and uh, they basically go, I mean, ultimately they know they won't survive long. So one mistake is fine, but you cannot continue with a mistake, right? So that's, otherwise you're not learning as a trader. So one mistake is fine, but otherwise it's a habit, more than one. So message is, 1 day bounce doesn't change anything, 2 day bounce doesn't, and the levels matter. In this case, this is the level, right? So it made new low. If it doesn't bounce, then it could go for S3 and so on. 3.5%, welcome move. Good enough? Of course not. So that's why none of the coins are active. This AVAX has touched required level. Now it has to close this week. If you look at daily, it touched exactly the required level, and today it touched again. You see now? So very technical move. First it touched the resistance. Very interesting. In fact, starting from here, you see this one, it went down, touched this level, blue, rejected, came down, went up, touched this, rejected, support, right? S1, retraced, tried again, touched this required level, right? Required level was given earlier before, and it reacted. Is it random behavior? Of course not. It came down. Now it is now returned back. So this is one of the strongest coins at this moment. Now the way I interpret is, if it can close the week, especially today and tomorrow, so I would wait for Sunday. If it can close the week above required level, then that's a good news. And then this would be the first coin which you consider as active coin. Okay, because then it achieved its miles. There's no reason for me to keep a whole entire list inactive, because this has achieved its level, almost there, and it's almost there. And there's another thing, don't assume, because in finish line, if you are running for, let's say, 1,000 meter, right, or whatever, 100 meter, but you have to cross the finish line. If you don't cross the finish line, even if you are a meter away, and then you just don't cross, you don't win and you don't finish. You have to, because that's the thing. This is my, of course, this is not universal. This is my finish line, right? So if you think that this make, so if it's about believing this, so if you believe that this makes sense, then you consider it. So this is when it has touched in this case, but it has to close, the week has to close above this. Otherwise, this race is not over. This hasn't crossed finish line, right? And couple of dollars here and there is not uh, to be considered, right? It's not that, oh, it's green level is whatever, what is 116 something, right? It must break above. Why is not showing up here on weekly level? It's there. Yeah, maybe this is visibility. Yeah, see, it has broken above, right? I know. So it's amazing move, amazing move. So this has to close above it. That's the requirement. So that's a good news, right? So now the choice is very simple, right? Any coin that proves is a front runner on this platform. So this is FX is a front runner, one of the front runners at this moment. So good news. So now you, at least out of 40-50 coins, you have something that is a front runner. So in your list, this coin has to be noted. Right? And if it is above, then you know what it means. So it's so simple. And again, this is not about what you like. So this is another problem people face, that you try to like coin which is performing well. You don't try to buy or hold which you think could go up. Okay, so if you do that, then you have more choices and you have higher probability of winning trades. So people like coin X and say, if unless the coin X doesn't do well, I'm not going to buy anything. I am just waiting for coin X to do well. If you have that kind of mindset, you keep waiting for that coin X to go up, where the coin Y is already doing. So my only suggestion is, look for the coin which is doing well. Don't look for the coin that you like it for whatever reason. Right? It's up to you then. So if MX is not your favorite, but it's a front runner, if you want to ignore, you may, right? But and waiting for something which is not even close to required level, it's a choice. But try something different. XAX, strong coin, but at this moment, you see, it made new low. It's below S1. It's not even close to this. So this was like from the beginning, it actually could not cross. That's the problem. We added a little late here. Block touch S2. Last time I mentioned that it was rejected, right? And then I said there's nothing else but S2. This week I'll say if it breaks S2, there's nothing, and there's nothing that I can give. In that case, I have to simply remove this coin. Okay, because this is new coin, there's no data, as you can see. There's nothing. I mean, I can give something, but it's meaningless, because uh, then it would be meaningless. That means in future, if it comes up, then I would add back. That's a different story. So coin is not wrong, coin is not bad. We added for a reason. It hit two targets and so on. But the point is, I would have my threshold, that if it breaks below certain level, then I would just remove it. Remove doesn't mean that I cannot add back. I can add back, but at least I don't have to track it. It's a waste of time, and it's a waste of time for you as well. Right. So it's we can always add back, right, when they prove. So right now, as it touched S2 as projected last time, and if it goes below, then this will go away, and this is the next resistance if it starts going up, and then this is required. I could have kept this one, but I wanted this to be conservative. BNB is one of the strongest coin, and it's holding up this level, R16 level. Not even touched this one, so showing strength, as you could see. But this is the required level. Nothing less than this is going to have make change my mind. This is a different coin, so I'll skip it. As I said, this coin will have huge value or no value. Okay, so this is a different reason why I added. Maybe I should have added in some special category, but there's no need to create a special category for this coin, right? But I had to add in active list for tracking. These levels are given. It had hit R1 earlier, and then this is the required level, right? And so on. So it's right now near R1, sorry, S1 support. But this is not about in and out, in my opinion. This is not about trading, in my point of view. This would have, as I said, immense value or no value. There's nothing in between for this one. So BSV is not for trading. CELR is holding up pretty well, I feel, but this is also an edge, a little better than ADA in a way. But yeah, this is consolidating on S2. Long way to go. There are a couple of attempts you see, both the times. Now, when you look at daily, you're not going to see this. On Discovery, I added this orange level for reason. Some, as an example, as an example, I posted few charts because when you see a huge move like this, like 2 3 days of, you get excited. Why not? But then you saw some other coins as well. Will come across, and I added to indicate that there is resistance, um, just to show you that it did in past like this and this, and it kept making new low, and in that journey it will keep doing that. And it's, see, it's about understanding the game. If you understand the game, you will have better, you are in a better position compared to other. And sometimes you have to understand the game if you are open minded and experience as if this has happened with you actually. This kind of, even if you didn't um, buy CELR, you can simulate that how it is behaving, because other coin could behave like similar way. So when it goes down, there are always going to be bounce, like it happened here, it happened here, make new low for example, going to make a huge bounce like that. So if you can write for short term, fine, but then you have to mentally ready that not necessarily this is going to take you far away. Right? So if you're mentally ready, you're good. But when you track weekly, it gives you more clarity, because weekly is not going to change, right? And when it doesn't change, that means it's not good time to uh, hope for that coin to do a wonder. It has to do much better for it to uh, yeah, for you to invest more. Correct. So weekly is not confirming anything. When you look at this weekly, it doesn't confirm anything. But when you look at daily, you see that, oh wow. So it's nothing major, as you could see. It's on this one, and then it could go all the way to S2, right? This was pretty low, but this is on edge. There's no sign of bounce at this moment, but this is on edge. Let's see. But if this continue going down, if it breaks, and then I think there's nothing much in there. It could go all the way down to S2. Doge, another example. News came, I mean the tweet came out, right? And then it pumped but rejected by S1. You see, now you would be wondering that how come it stopped S1? Now there's no in technicals there's no answer to the why question. People ask why question. Okay. I can say where it could stop, but the why question, I'll say it stopped because it's S1, it's resistance. There's nothing else I could say. And I think that's fair. What else you want? If you get this S1, say this is where it could react. Otherwise, there's no way. If other than technical, there's no way for you to say where it might react. Not necessarily, right? But point is, there is no other way to measure but technical analysis. So there was tweet, but why it stopped here? Because it's S1. Okay, so you see there are a couple of touches here. So this is on edge at this moment. This is very vulnerable. This is a textbook descending. My goodness. So this is like, if it goes up, this is one exception. This is an anomaly, that it spiked, penetrated, and then survived. So very interesting pattern. This is one exception. Yeah. So if this breaks down, then it could go deeper because of this buildup. So people have misunderstanding. Yeah, statistically descending triangle are bearish pattern, but people have misunderstanding that they always do. No, there are different patterns have success rate. They are measured in terms of percentage, 50%, 60%, depends on different analysts who have worked. So if you do go for some academic studies, you will know that certain pattern like head and shoulder has this much of a success rate and all. Of course it is based on some ta, and different ta might come up with different, depends on how many head and shoulders are tested and so on, and similar different patterns. So they would say, okay, this pattern I tested, let's say 1,000 assets, and out of 1,000, 500 times, 600 times it goes down. So they say, okay, now there's a probability of 50, 60% or 70%. So that's how they do. So statistically this pattern is bearish. It doesn't mean 100 out of 100 times it goes down. The way I interpret is, it's when it is descending triangle, that means it's bearish, but we don't assume that it is going to crash. But if it is bearish, that means we are on high alert. If you are holding this asset, that's how I see. I don't assume, but if this is my boundary, if my price closes below this boundary, then that's bad news for me. That means then this pattern actually um, resulted in the downside move, as it suggested. So unless until it happens, you cannot say. So if it breaks below and closes, then you can say it is bad now, because it is broken. So the dam is broken, right? So unless you see it's broken, you don't see it's broken, because it's not going to stop in one move. It's going to continue deeper, very deep, because of this buildup once it is broken. So this is how I see people say, oh, this is head and shoulder, means this will happen. No, you have to track that pattern, and then if it is head and shoulder, then you have to see what it does at the neckline and so on. And so those who are ta understand what I'm saying, but those who are not ta would learn a little bit. Okay, dot on edge, very similar to ada, you see, very similar. There was a attempt, failed attempt. This is bad week, so very weak. EGLD, similar thing. Nice move, impressive move. Did it break above required level? Answer is no. Answer is no. So is it a lesson? Yeah, lesson for those who thought that EGLD is amazing. Coin is amazing, why not? But point is, if it didn't pass my test, so it is here now, right? It is here now. This is evidence, okay? And I the evidence tells us that it works. These things work, these things. So this bounce, if you enter here, I can imagine anyone who entered here, what would be the situation, because that person trader would have lost 26% by now, right? So these are examples. There are so many examples. It's all about understanding the game. ETH, similar, stronger than Bitcoin, on edge, as you could see, on edge, little actually below the edge. So, but yeah, not much. So comparatively, this is stronger than Bitcoin, but yeah, the direction is still down. Required level is not far, which is good news, right? So 10% move will help from here. So this is one of the strongest ones. FIL is a weaker one comparatively, right? So this is also putting pressure on the on this lower side. So S2 is the next level. Now those who are shorting, these are targets, right? These are targets. Now the thing is, you if you're not comfortable, just do invert scale, right? If you then you will say you are, and then you can change, treat that this is a breakout. So if think about that, it went down, right? This is the low, it went up. This is the retest of this, not all the way, which is very bullish. If this is some point, and then this is a trend line, right? And it broke the trend line. So this is very bullish, and this is the next level. Now this is so simple, right? This is so simple, and you can change the color, you can change the setting, and yeah, you can change the appearance of symbol. So you can change it. If you are, say, the body for an example is this, you can make this, and then this is the, you can swap it and say, okay, look at this. I mean, I didn't change everything. Look at this, now this is green, right? So let me change it, even borders for you. If you're, if the psychologically, if you're not able to digest what is happening, you can do this. See, I'm giving you a trick. Nothing that this is file X coin, some X coin. Now this is so simple. When you look at this, if I ask you what is happening, you'll say it's going up. Green candle, right? Down, then touch, broke up a nice trend line, a nice breakout, right? Upside, consolidation, and now it is near upper edge. So it's heading for S2. So if this is a coin, is there any doubt about S1? When you are here, this is a breakout in between, right? But when it was here, this was trying to break above. If you would you not be interested in this coin if this is some coin X? You ask yourself. So my point is, things are going down, not just today, but people are not able to understand because human psychology, they are more inclined towards buying when it is rising. Yeah, I can understand who do not have short option. I can understand, but that's a human mindset. This is psychological reason, and to flush out that, we do this. What I did, do the invert, change the color, everything. Okay, you can create new layout if you have different work, totally new layout, and do this. So you don't have, you can have both layout. You can do that, and then you see, then you will have understanding, better understanding. And of course, if this coin, let's say, goes down and then breaks below S1, then what? That means it's not good, right? If this is coin X, that means it's going down. That means file is not for shorting, correct? If it breaks below. So you can do the same thing by inverting all other coins. Take look at BTC, for example. So for example, BTC, it's here. Now it's moving up. We cannot say here, but if it is here and here, then it's moving away. But the moment it starts going down below 50, 50, we cannot say the same. But right now, it is moving up. right? So but we cannot conclude yet, of course, but there is no one can say this is going down. This particular coin is going down. Inverted coin, this is going up. Yeah. So this is important point of view. I'll just revert back. So flip it, then you will understand what is happening. I do that often because I have to be neutral, right? I cannot be like you. If I am biased, then I could be wrong. I could go wrong, and I cannot afford to be wrong on a major direction point of view. Yeah, back to normal. Okay, very simple technique. Let's continue. FTM. So it's trying to bounce, but, but still below S1. It has little more ground to cover. Good one, 9%, good one. But this is the next resistance. If it breaks above this, then it will look for this. If it, then the required level will give a path towards higher level and so on. So right now it wants to go up. Good sign. GRT is still the downward pressure is high on S1 on edge, up by 4%, but on edge there's no still dark red candle. HNT is much better. Good bounce from this one, right? It is coming close to required level, much better. So this is holding up pretty well. So showing strength here. KCS is showing strength, right? It's not losing its value. Very positive. KDA is very strong. It's holding up pretty good for last 2 weeks, unlike other who made new low. Right? KSM not bad, still higher than the last week's low. So still this is a boundary which you can say, okay, this is very important one, because if this is broken, then S2 is the next major one, correct? So as long as it's above this is good, but not good enough, because this is still below the support level, so it's not good enough. Yeah, link is survived. Link has survived this one. It almost on this line, right? As I said last time, this is very important, not just for this particular move, but whole entire wave since 2019. Longest, huge ascending channel, huge. So it could bounce, and if it can break above, then it will shoot up and make new high, and then it could go far away, far away actually. But this is the range where you cannot say, because if you, for an example, you see it rejected here. Now this was a good bounce, but you enjoy this bounce, okay? But it got rejected from the same one, and then it starts going down. Then you have to understand that this is rejected, and now it came down. All the complete reset almost. Now this is the key level. If this is broken, it will look for the lower and so on. Right? So right now the direction is down. The way you see here is this is the rejection point. Major one came down, consolidated, tried, rejected. Another try, rejected. It made new low, which is bad news, because this is low, then this new low, it is not somewhere here. So this is important thing, that when it makes new low, that's a red alert for you if you're holding it. Right? So this is here, fine. Touch, rejection, fine, not bad. This is also fine because this is far. It went up, rejected, fine. When I say fine means it's not bad. it's not worrisome. But when it goes down and it takes down this one, that's bad, of course, bad. So if this is trying to recover, and if it comes down to this, then I'll say this is encouraging. But then it must break about this, because it has to prove. And if it breaks about, you don't have to worry, because then it could go high, pretty like higher than this. So this is my way of explaining things, how the wave how wave develops their life cycle. I'm trying to explain the same thing by taking different examples. Whatever example clicks will help you, if you think that makes sense. Otherwise, this effort is useless. You think that I'm analyzing, actually, this is more education. 90% of what I'm saying is education, than analysis. I can wrap up this call in 10 minutes, actually, without saying anything. Why? Because I can, for example, I can say LTC. If this is broken, it will touch this. If this is broken, it will touch this. Next, Luna. If already here, if it breaks above required level, I'll give you the next level. If it breaks this, it will touch S1 and so on. This is done. Mana. This is the speed I can actually wrap up whole entire call. You know, but I'm trying to explain many other things, because some of you are aware, but some of the new user might not be aware, and they are coming from different background. I'm spending a lot of time, so you can imagine how much time I'm spending in explaining this, which I could wrap up in a matter of 10-15 minutes. So there is reason. So this call is not analysis call. This is full of education from my point of view. From That's my effort. Okay. So LTC is still vulnerable. It's up by 4%. It's on edge, very similar to ADA, right? And to me, this is one of the weakest coin out of, like, it used to hold top five coins, top five, but this year it could not. So this is a point I was making earlier, that some coins lasted for one season or one cycle. And some coins, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, still there. XRP is still there, even if people don't like. I'm not adding it because it's under legal case. Otherwise, that's the only reason why it's not there. But it's still a top 20 coin, so it's not in the active list simply because it's going through legal case. Otherwise, I would have, because if anything comes up, it crashes. We saw what happened. So we don't want that. That's why. Otherwise, it's not that I hate. I like all the coins which are doing good. It's nothing about my favorite. Probably this is one of the only platforms where I don't have bias. Most of the people I saw, even my Twitter colleagues, they have bias. Either they like BTC, Ethereum, or something. They have biased. We have, where we sell all type of flowers, whatever, like we include BSV, we had XRP, you name it, we have everything. And that tells me, I mean, that tells that we are not biased towards any coin, and we look for opportunity, right? Our focus is opportunity, not coin, right? So XRP is not that because I don't like it, it's simply because it's going through legal case. The moment they win the case, it will be back in. Yeah, because I respect it is holding that level. They are working. Not only that, Satoshi mentioned XRP. Don't forget, people haven't read the emails. He talked about Ripple, not XRP, of course, but Ripple. He talked about Ripple, and he said that the Ripple is reasonably distributed system. Now this is a politics. I'm not adding my interpretation. You read email from Satoshi. He said XRP is one of the distributed systems at that time in year 2011. He said that. So people are playing politics. It doesn't mean XRP I favor, as I said, but I don't care about. I don't. Nothing is favorite to me. Winner is my favorite. Anything that wins is my favorite. Very simple. I want to be with the winner. So why I added BSV, because because Craig is winning cases, legal cases. It's not a joke. No matter what they are saying about, and I'm not accepting that he's Satoshi fully, but he's winning cases. Is it a joke that he's winning cases? Of course not. Spending millions of dollars in providing so much of testimony and so many people are involved. It's not a joke. He's winning the case. That's why BSV is in the list. And XRP is not, simply because there is a case going on. So that's my point of view. Anyway, so point is, LTC lost top 20 spot. It shows that it's weak. So, and LTC fundamentally, you know what, I used to like, I still like it, but there's something I would like to say about LTC. LTC I liked because it was cheaper, it was transaction wise, low transaction fee, higher throughput, right, more scalable. But now I feel it's useless. And the simple reason being, see, Bitcoin, I mean, some Bitcoin Core is developing Lightning Network, which is not ready yet. It's being used for small transaction, but not for big one. So micropayment, right? So let's assume that it succeeds. Now, if the whole reason why LTC has advantage, because it's faster and cheaper. If the Lightning Network comes in, then why would anyone go for Litecoin? There's no reason for for I mean for anyone to use Litecoin. It simply doesn't make sense, because there are other coin like Digibyte, WordCoin, and maybe some other coin which are Lightning compliant. Lightning Network is not just one network. There are 2 3 protocols, at least 3 I know, and these are Lightning compliant coins. So if other coin like Digibyte or WordCoin or some other, maybe if they become Lightning compliant, they are even more cheaper than Litecoin. So then the Litecoin has no use case, no usability. In my point of view, it has lost its use case. It has lost its use case. So Charlie was smart. He made the block bigger. He copied Bitcoin. He made the block bigger and made it faster. He was smart, and he had that advantage, showcasing that it's faster. Now he's supporting. It's so interesting. If you are technical, you will understand. He is with a small block group who doesn't believe in increasing the block, but he himself forked and made the blocks bigger and came up with Litecoin out of Bitcoin, and he's sticking. So he's a number one politician in my opinion. I respect him for his knowledge and all, but he's number one politician. He knows how to survive. Where somebody, so they didn't, he was smart enough to remain with Bitcoin. So what is the smartness? I'll tell you. He didn't go against Bitcoin. He said, I'm with you guys, I'm with you. So he did exactly the opposite. Okay, he made the block bigger, he changed the protocol, right, smaller than 10 minutes, 4 5 minutes, made it faster, and so on. There's nothing much difference. He changed a little bit of here and there, and then he said he's the Litecoin, and it's a silver to gold. So nice marketing strategy. No enemies, because he's not going against BTC, so he's not being beaten up by Bitcoin. So and he's also helping for Bitcoin. Like SegWit was implemented on Litecoin. He's smart, and then Bitcoin implemented. Now privacy is done differently. Bitcoin is doing Taproot, Litecoin is doing Mimblewimble. So they are doing differently. But point is, he tried to be with Bitcoin. But so that's why I call him smart. Of course, technically smart, but also smart marketing wise, politically and all. So he's an all-rounder that way. uh Anyway, so but I don't see any use case for the reason I said, because if Litecoin succeeds, then why you need Litecoin? I mean, sorry, if Lightning Network succeeds, then why you need Litecoin? There's no use case to me. So that's why I probably that's one of the reasons why big investors are not investing in Litecoin. Could be the reason. I don't know. But this is my reason. So this is useless in a way. I just kept it just for, it's a legacy coin. So I just kept it. Otherwise, there's nothing much that I'm hoping from this coin now in recent. Anyways, that's my opinion. Fundamental. My fundamentals could be a little different than fundamentals that you hear. The point of view, angle at which I see. Because one of the Twitter followers said this, all this statistic. I said I know Litecoin since 2015. I know. So don't tell me which is, but what is your interpretation? Okay. Luna is a beast, right? I mean, this is crazy coin. It's a beast. I mean, it's an unstoppable coin, impressive coin. What should I say? I have no words. So if I look at, so it reacted at this one, but it broke above this. It broke above, right? So it's heading for R4. So I think today evening I'll say this is active coin. But on this call I'll say this looks good to me. This is required level, right? So until it breaks above, you have to take care of it. So I don't want to misguide you. I'll stick to my stand that 78 is required, but this is like crossing 52k if I compare with Bitcoin, and this is like 58k of Bitcoin. That's the difference. So this is out of immediate risk. If it could stay above 70, so the moment it breaks below 70, then you can think otherwise. Otherwise I'll say this is heading for new all-time high, right? This level will confirm it, but if it can stay above 70, going for all time. So this is the first coin, AVAX, and these two, I think these are the two coins. But remember, if Bitcoin goes down, this is unlikely to go survive, because this coin actually touched this not so far ago and came down, touched this one again. So the problem with this coin is, I'm saying this is superstar, but this superstar has a huge range. Okay, so it goes up quickly, goes down quickly. 32%, 40% swing is not ordinary swing. Stop loss doesn't work with this kind of a can. Look at this range. So 30 40% range is no joke, right? Very short time it could. So only downside of this coin is if Bitcoin crashes below or goes down, okay, which is still a case, very strong case for Bitcoin. So that's the only vulnerability I see, because then you should not feel like a trapped mouse. Okay, so I'm just highlighting that this is strong coin, this is above 70, so keep an eye on 70. The moment it is below 70, my warranty goes away. I'm just kidding. Or point is, below 70 is no good. Okay, so yeah, otherwise it's good. Mana is trying to, oh, let's get back to weekly. So this is the beauty. Daily indicates that, oh, it's going up. Fine. Come weekly. Okay, not bad, but not enough. Immediately it tells you, it neutralizes you. The moment you see this daily and then you get excited, wow, what a move. Of course, what a move, 10% move, what a move. The moment you see weekly, it disappoints you. And I would like you to be disappointed. Don't curse me purposefully for your own protection. I'm discouraging for a reason. This is still red, right? It has to be about 3.7, and then this will confirm. So it has to do little more, not enough. The Matic is one of the strongest one from beginning, right? So it is able to keep up and maintain about this white line, which is very positive. So if it continues doing well, then you can say, so for me, if this week's low is not broken, this is a good coin. So I would say this is the third coin, right? Third coin, AVAX, Luna, and Matic. Oh, for different coins, I suggested different condition. For Matic, I would say this week's low to be washed out. If this week's low is not taken down, then this is good. So it's good until that level. One is showing strength, so I would say the same. As long as one is able to maintain the low of this week, it's good. Hmm? Showing strength here. Opal, not much, right? Not much. Okay. RNDR, look at the attempts, especially when you see one day. You can study this one. Amazing bounce. I gave this level, right? Rejected. Touch this, went up. This is like this is like a stubborn person. You kick out this guy and returns back. So this is like rejected, all the way, bounces, rejected, comes down. Again, this is not, this doesn't want to go away. Yeah, so very very stubborn coin, right? So that's strength. In other words, if 3.7 is taken down, right? If this is broken, then RNDR would look for 2.6. Okay, so let's have that understanding. So far so good. If so, in other words, if it if it breaks above R3 convincingly, right? Not touches, it should close above. So the weekly close should be above this, not just touches. Then it makes sense. Then it will go for R4 and so on, right? So far so good, but yeah. And as I said, this week 3.7 is to be watched. Okay, sand, similar behavior, trying hard, consolidating on daily, weekly. As you could see, I don't discover it. I mean, this was a doji candle last week, and this is also not good, right? So it has to be somewhere here. Then you can say, okay, now let me start, and then this will give you the green light, correct? Required level. So 5.75 will give you could give you a start, and then R6 will say, okay, now, but this is no good. SKL, right? So this is also on edge, right? So not bad today, but on edge. Solana, so this is as projected, came down, bouncing, right? Now this bounce has to go above, so that's why my green arrow is above the required level. If it breaks above required level, then you can expect it for new high. Otherwise comes down, make new low, then another probability, opportunity, and then deeper. We don't know. And this is dotted line, it's not solid right now. So far this has happened, that a downside move touched S1. Now this bounce is happening. If this is rejected, so we don't look for this, look for the immediate one. Okay, so this is bouncing. What you're going to observe is what it does near this level. Does it break above the green or get rejected? Don't look for this or don't look for this. These are then people make mistakes. Right now just look for this near term. Okay, near term, because um, situation demands that. Look for near term, whether it breaks above or retraces. Right? If it breaks above, embrace. If it retraces, move away. Uni is surviving. This is survival mode, pretty weak, right? But it's trying to defend this level. If this is taken down, then S3, and there's nothing much. And this structure is not good actually. If this is taken down, S3 is not able to hold. I doubt it could go deeper, pretty deep, like this 5.75 or something. I'll give S4, but as I said, these are like, this is on edge, and this could trigger pretty deep. I mean, this is still, it can survive from here, but once this is broken down, it is likely to free fall. VET is also on edge, as you could see, right? This level is so important for it, multiple reasons, right? This is almost on edge, this line, right? And then, so this is important for this structure to survive. Then VRA is similar setup, very similar, right? It's on this one. This is, so if this is taken down, then to land here, and then, so S2 is the most important level, because after that there's nothing much. Then it will become very weak, and then go down very deep actually. Then you can draw this line here. This is likely to be somewhere down the line if this is gets into the bear mode. But we don't have to talk about it for now. This is important, it should not break below, otherwise lands on this, and this is the most important one. If this is taken down, you can imagine this is like a neckline, right? If this is a shoulder, then, because then this is left shoulder, this is head, right? And this is kind of failed pattern in a way. There's no way, there's nothing in between. That's not good then. Yeah, so it has to recover from here, at least break above the support, show that strength at least, and stay above, not just touch, stay above for a week. So important. Not like last week when it touched and penetrated, rejected. It has to stay. Touching is not enough, it has to stay. So people think that only achieving that level is important, but it has to stay as well, right? Otherwise it's of no use. You see what happened here in past, it went up and touched this level but not able to stay, and then made new here it was able to stay. So this kind of move is not giving any confidence. There has to be a nice weekly candle, a green candle, a solid candle, right, with a solid body without any major wick on the upside like this. Then it has to be something like this, then it gives confidence. Do you see anything here? You don't see, right? So this is education. With that note, I covered all I think everything. If it is too much repetitive, then sorry, but I think some users were new probably and just wanted to cover. Probably I won't be doing this every week. I'm tired because this is explained multiple times. Unless some new user comes, then probably I'll explain. But yeah, my end note is that this is a potentially entering into a bear market, and I'm serious about it. I'm not panicked. I never get panicked. I never get excited. My level remains the same. My goal is to win and share analysis which will help my manual analysis that I do. I try to be on the right side. Um, Historically speaking, we have good winning rate, right? We are 2 years we completed. We are never wrong in terms of major levels, whether any level that you talk. Without any past post, you will never find anything where we were wrong when it was 29K or whatever tricky level we were. We are always on the right side, whether it was here, here, or even here, right? Not even here as well. Everything, everything. We are. That's a track record, right? So far, and it's not that it always happens, but my effort is to maintain this track record, right? And give that visibility to you that what might come next. So my point is, this weekly is telling that this trend is still down. There are going to be some bounce, and you might feel something good about it. Enjoy if it could for short term, but without, always keep an eye on Bitcoin, because that Bitcoin is driving for crypto, but Bitcoin is driven by other factors, mainly COVID factors. We heard, if you look at the news, I mentioned this topic earlier, that people think that the, I'll repeat again for some users if you missed it. See, the asset, the financial activities is dependence on the productivity, right? So it's a big topic, but I'll try to make it simple. The thing is, people cash out when the situation is. It happened in March last year, right? When we had this big drop. Why it happened? Because people cashed out, because they don't know if there is uncertainty, pandemic, they cash out, right? Because some people lose money, people lose their job, and so on, and they want to reserve, they cash out, right? If they have, so that's what they do, and they pull out, and this is why it happened. And when there is good news, it recovers. That's how it works. So when you see this kind of action, it is because of the situation, and the situation is not about crypto. It is not about the development in the crypto. Everything is fine, everything is progressing. People, that's the problem. People think that things are progressing, but it's going down. They are missing this point, that this is about COVID, in my opinion. There's about inflation as well, but that will come later, because the tapering will have impact, but little later, after a month, 2 month, 3 month, not immediately. The inflation, so that will have impact. It's a slow poison, but the COVID thing has a major impact, because when the economical activity stops, the productivity goes down, and that's the impact. And the UK numbers are rapidly okay. Another thing, it's not about how many people die. It's not about how many people hospitalized. It's about how badly the business is disrupted. So there are two angles to it. Okay, so when you think about loss, life loss in how loss in terms of life, or loss in terms of yeah, the hospitalization and all that, sorry, uh, that's different stats. Okay, that's more from a human side, emotional side. Business is ruthless. So I hate to say this, but even there are more people hospitalized, but if there is no impact to business, for example, I mean, I hate to say that, but let's assume a scenario where retired people are affected only, then they are unlikely to impact business. Then the market will not go down. That's the truth, because they will not impact business, and they are not someone who are spending a lot or investing in crypto or something. The impact is when the community which is driving the economy that if that the impact on them, then it is proportionally reflected on pricing. Okay, so this is weird but true, and that's why I say I hate to say this. So don't go by whether the Omicron is life threatening or not. It's not about that. Okay, people miss this point, and I don't want you to accept what I'm saying. Think about it. The the number of deaths are likely to be lesser because of Omicron. What we heard is not that threatening. It's spread quickly, but it is not about number of deaths. It is about disruption of business or economical activities. So moment, so there is a travel restriction in Africa. How much trade is with Africa for the Europe and the US? Hardly, right? So even there is travel restriction, it doesn't impact, and it didn't impact though that there is travel restriction to 7 8 countries. But if there is travel restriction to the Europe or major like Japan or China or the US, right? Then you will see the impact. And if you look at the number in the UK, it's rising rapidly. If you look at France, I also heard about France and all, and they are expecting the numbers will go up in the US. And when it happens, after these holidays, I think there, my hunch is there's going to be travel restriction, and that's why you will see more impact on these assets. Okay, and it has started. As I said, people don't wait for it. This market always a step ahead. Okay, people think that people will decide when the situation comes. No, the smart money goes out. Smart money goes in before a good thing happens, and smart money goes out before bad thing happens. You remember this point. Okay, this is my experience. Right? Smart people invest early, and smart people goes out early. They don't wait for the thing to happen. So other people are followers, and they are late in the game. And my attempt is to be ahead in the game, and we are ahead in the game. We've proven that this time as well, because it was highlighted since middle of last month. So the point I'm saying is Omicron is not life threatening, but if it disrupts the business, it is going to impact all asset classes, including crypto in a bad way. And what we are seeing is people are anticipating that to happen, and that's why price is going down. It's not about fundamentals of Bitcoin or fundamentals of any other coin. So people misunderstand this. This is the root cause is the disruption of economic activities. Right? So that's my final note. Right? And that's why if we see more cases, more disruption, you're going to see direct impact on pricing, and that's why you see the pressure. Okay, I hope this will help. Now I'll end this session and open for questions.